Insidious is not one of the worst movies of the horror genre, but it's still pretty bad. Usually I can sniff out a bad movie as soon as it hits theaters, depending on the type of reception it receives. Well, I guess anybody could. I only heard about Insidious when it first entered theaters, so there wasn't that much criticism yet. Few of the people that did see it called it the scariest movie they've ever seen or scarier than The Exorcist. Right after that statement, I should have known they were full of crap. No director today has the talent to make a film scarier than The Exorcist, and if they do, they're smart enough to stay away from that genre. It's been worn down and stretched so far thin by every moron that can get his hands on a camera. For instance, Lost Boys 2, Lesbian Vampire Killers, Insidious, Jack and Jill. Oh wait, that's not horror. I decided to watch Insidious without any preconceptions. I also brought my mother along, but I have to tell you something. If you want to know if a film is good or not, let this woman view it, and her natural reaction should tell you everything you need to know. When she watches a sad movie, water comes out of her eyes. And I always assume it's raining because I don't know what the hell crying is. I will say that halfway through this movie, my mother was laughing, disturbing the other viewers. I was trying to hold my own laughter for so long, I nearly died of exhaustion when she finally let it out. Now there are two halves to this movie. The first half is the Paranormal Activity attempt. The second half consists of Poltergeist, Jeepers Creepers, and a little bit of The Shining. I'll get into specifics later, but let me give you a summary. The reason why this movie has two different tones is not that hard to figure out. They developed the first half of the movie and screened it to the producers. Well, let's say they jumped in the room and yelled, "Ta-da!" The producers saw it for the crap that it was and called James Wan out on his Paranormal Activity makeover. James Wan didn't write the film, but he did place the cameras in conspicuous places. The acts that ensue are books out of place, random sounds, random scares, mysterious figures, subplot within a boring-ass plot. The producers suggested a rewrite, but the accountant says all the money and time will have been wasted. Coming to their senses, they decided to keep the crappy first half and follow it by an even worse second half. For the second half, the writer, Leigh Whannell, the writer from the first three Saw movies, goes to watch Poltergeist and Jeepers Creepers for inspiration. The only problem with this is that he decided to use the same exact style. But which one? So what does he do? He tosses a quarter in the air, heads Poltergeist, tails Jeepers Creepers, and what do you know? The coin lands on its side. No other choice, he is forced to use both styles. I don't know how Leigh Whannell came up with the second half of this movie, but I do have to admit he did follow close to the story. Of Poltergeist, that is. Now let's go ahead and start this film, if it has the right to be called that. I always carry a different meaning between the words film and movie. You'll learn that about me. Film is a work of art, and movie is something you watch. Watching a film is like observing a meaningful painting, while staring at a movie is like casually looking at a stupid drawing some kid drew with crayons. You see? I'm getting sidetracked again. This is how much I don't want to watch this movie. So they open up the movie with the scary violins, trying to imitate The Exorcist, along with the freakish letters to try to get you scared of the title. Before that, you see the Wicked Witch of the South, And it does show a boy sleeping from a distant angle. It gives you the idea that he's astro projecting, and he gets ambushed by the Wicked Witch of the South. Something that drives me crazy in films or movies is when everything is silent. It's not the fact that I hate silent films, I try to find the reason why the director chooses to do this. In horror films, it's used to let the audience know they're about to get startled. In Paranormal Activity, they use it throughout more than half the scenes. It's damn annoying. This leaves the audience on the edge of their chair, anticipating the next scare. Rhyme. This isn't a movie, it's a guessing game. Once the audience realizes they didn't get their fix, they sit back disappointed until the next silent part arrives and history repeats itself. After a while, they forget it's a movie and it feels like some cheap haunted house. So the opening scene sets the tone for the movie, telling us it's going to be a silent film, and here I am in the theater smacking my forehead. After the silence, we're given a small treat of what their family is like. James Wan and Leigh Whannell ask themselves the question, why should anyone in the theater care about problems in a household that doesn't relate to us? Unless you're a person who likes snooping into other people's problems, then you just need to die. The dynamic duo come up with a keen idea as to why we should care about the woman who shows off her crotch and get him to the Greek. They put her on the phone, talking to a machine, which is something every human being on this earth hates. Unless you like talking to machines, then you need to go eat a pie.
Speak to an agent!
Everyone in the theater says, "Oh, I hate that too. I like this woman." That, or the audience sees her misbehaving kids and they can relate due to their kids. So then a prop mysteriously moves and the lead actress assumes it was one of the kids. I have to give this scene a plus because she didn't go into the basement or attic for moving books. Maybe the husband moved them as a joke to get the wife to yell at one of the kids. He could be a sick weirdo like that, I don't know. Anything's possible with this little character development. But see how he leaves a crying baby? Maybe he is a weirdo. After the husband leaves, the wife plays the piano, and we hear the baby monitor. A jump shot to the baby, and... You've got to be kidding me. She hears a noise. Here she is, suspicious and stuff. I don't even know this lady's name. 10 minutes in the movie, it feels like I'm watching Paranormal Activity. It even uses a wide angle to make our eyes look for something wrong with this picture. It's like playing Where's Waldo. Our job as an audience is to find something abnormal about this view. Wait, I found something. What's the house alarm doing upstairs? I mean, whenever you leave the house, you have to run upstairs, set the alarm, and run out the door. Maybe they have two of them. I don't know. What's next? Oh my god. She goes into the attic. How did I know this was going to happen? Uh-oh. She broke the ladder. Most obvious foreshadowing I've ever seen. Oh, the furnace went off. Means Macaulay Culkin's going to have a cameo in this movie. What do you know? 2 minutes later, we see the attic mysteriously open for one of the boys. And I still don't know any of their names. I'll call him Richard. And we'll call the other one Donovan. I heard the husband call her Baby, so I'll just assume that's her name. And this guy comes home late at night, obviously from a strip bar, and brings home a toy not to be suspicious. We'll call him Casanova. As Richard goes into the attic, our foreshadowing from 4 minutes prior comes to life. Wow, this movie doesn't waste any time. As the boy falls, we're cutting to this. I guess Casanova is still trying to win the audience over. And then the boy screams, and we finally get a name for the boy. Dalton. That's too bad. I kind of like Richard. I think she called Casanova Jonathan, so that rules him out. They called the add-in kid Foster, but her name is still Baby, so that's a plus. I have no idea why this camera cuts to a box for 10 seconds. Maybe the box came to life and scared Dalton.